Good evening, everyone, or rather, good morning, good afternoon. I don't know where exactly are you watching us from, so good day to everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of, let's say, Talk with Ambassador. This time it is Martin Zilka. Martin, welcome in the studio. Hello.
Hello to everyone.
And Martin is a professional photographer. He is from Slovakia. I'm from Czech Republic. So sorry for our English if we don't speak, let's say, fluently enough. Sorry for that, but we are not native speakers. But I think Martin speaks very well, and I try to speak as good as possible. So please be patient with us with our English. And today it's about Martin's 1 year with OM-1 twins. Because as you know, it's been basically 1 year now in March when the OM-1s started shipping last year. So basically, Martin has been working 1 year with OM-1. Why OM-1 twins, actually, Martin? Tell us, can you explain why twins? Why do you call them twins?
Okay, it's not usually, it doesn't happen usually that you got two same bodies in the same time. And I used to work as a professional for 2 decades, and I like to have a variety of angles and to capture even if you do artistic field or documentary, more from wide angle to tell it, to display different worlds. So that's why I work with two bodies, two different setup of lenses.
I see. Okay, so you don't have to change the lens all the time. So you have two bodies with two different lenses basically on the setup. Great, perfect. Just for the very introduction, for all of you that don't know Martin, Martin is a real professional photographer. So basically his income is based on taking pictures. But this time I would call you, Martin, I would call you multi-genre photographer, because basically you are earning money for shooting all kinds of images, all kinds of genres. So today it's going to be slightly different. And we are going to see not only, let's say, Martin's hobby pictures, which is landscape and animals and so on, but we are also going to see other genres, which is your income. Is that correct? Or am I correct?
Yeah, it is correct. Then I do cover very different kind of photography, and you're gonna see part of it and just a selection of 12 months of shooting or assignments or my free work. So you're gonna see all around. And basically I love the system because of its flexible. It's it got a lot of features we're gonna talk about later.
Okay, great, perfect. And one question, or actually two questions I need to ask you at the very beginning. One question is, since when are you a professional photographer, or how many years have you been shooting as a professional photographer?
So I started with photography 30 years ago, and I'm shooting professionally since 2001, so over 20 years.
Over 20 years. Okay, great, perfect. And what was the decisive moment for you to switch to Olympus, now OM System, obviously? So since when are you shooting with Olympus, like full time?
I've been shooting all my life with Canon full frames, and started on films and then digital with 5D series and 1 series. And I got 18 lenses in the peak and pro bodies. And I switched in 2016-17, and I covered some events that are very demanding, sailing competition, and I saw some lenses that was unbelievable handy, small, but well built and nice sharp pictures coming out. And I was very surprised with the system. So I think it's like 6 years.
6 years ago. Okay, so 6 years now. It's 2003. So it was even before. Well, actually 2016, right, when we came up with EM1 Mark II, because this was like for us it was like a revolutionary camera, definitely.
We will cover different kind of photography, but I do a lot of video as well, and it's a key issue because I can add some value to my assignments, to commercials, to events, and so on. So it's very important that I have stable system with 7 to 8 stops, stabilized lenses, and even for big focal lens for super tele, and we're gonna see.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just looking at all the hellos from you, from New York, from Hexham, from Denver, from all around the world. Even Zdeněk Jančík from Czech Republic, which is our country. Okay, hi Zdeněk. And I see one very nice comment, where, as we have been talking about the twins, John is saying you can't shoot in stereo without twin cameras. So Martin, this is another topic for your future shooting. You will use two cameras with two same lenses, and you'll be shooting stereo. Thanks, John, for this fun insight. Okay, let's go to your presentation, because I know we've got lots of, let's say, genres. We've got lots of slides. So please, go ahead, and I will kindly interrupt you from time to time with questions from our viewers.
I think it's not a common presentation. It's not a single focus, single genre. And so we go through. First is some introduction. My name is Martin Zilka. I'm pretty glad that you can hear it or live or from YouTube later. And you can find my work on Instagram, Photomartini, or my web. So this is my live photographer with OM-1 twins. These are lenses I used to my assignments. This is exactly 1 year ago as twins come, small. I got different bodies, X, M1-3, M1-2, but Pen F. So I used to shoot world ski, alpine skiing, World Cup, and since 2016, and we're gonna cover it later. This is Petra Vlhova, top 3 skier in the world. These are my places where I used to work. Sometimes I shoot architecture, but we're not gonna cover it in this presentation. I do a lot of events and traveling, and I used to do pagrafting, because it's stable boats for covering the water and wildlife, but not regular way, because I got lightweight equipment and I got new opportunities. This is wild water. It's grade 4 in Slovenia.
Sorry, Martin. Sorry to interrupt you. This is actually you in the picture, right? It's not one of your clients.
That's me. I'm guide for wild water, and you can see a small orange bag in front of the boat. Yeah. So that's a place for my camera, and I'm pretty fast to unpack it, and I can shoot really in few seconds and then pack it and go down with a group. And sometimes I do commercials, sometimes I do just friends, but I don't hesitate to work in very demanding conditions, like this one it's you can see.
Yeah.
So we take groups to water, and there's some Slovakia, and this is my son. He's helping me, and it's very important for me that my son is now 13, is able to help me, and he do it for a few years, because the cameras are not too big. So for father, it's quite essential.
I see he's using EM1 Mark II or Mark III. What was it?
This one, this is not for OM. This is 1X, and I'm not sure, but it's just to see environment I'm used to work. And right. This one is X, working in a world championship in the wild water, and some yachting, and I do a lot of golf. And I'm pretty happy that I love it, and that I can capture for my clients amazing shots, because I shoot, let's say these images, in the first body is 12 to 100, second body is 150 to 400, and I can cover landscapes, but I can cover 800 millimeters details, and shooting for quite shutter speeds, electronic, that's essential in golf. So
sure.
And I do some assignment according to, like, they are connected to wildlife, they are connected to protecting wildlife or national parks and so on. I do a lot of skiing, and I'm not perfect skier, but I ski over 40 years, and I need to carry my equipment with me, and I'm posing some or professional or teachers of skiing and so on.
So I assume, Martin, that on the last picture where you are skiing, it is you again, right?
That's me. Yeah.
On this one, it's you. Okay, so you are the skier, you are a packrafter on the wild river. What else are you? Biker?
Basically it's changing year to year, but it's or period to period, and it's not essential. Essential for me is that I'm able to adapt to what I feel inside. That where is my heart and what I love to do, and where I'm able to make people happy with what I do and sell it. Not everything, but I have that commercial drive. That I see some potentials, and that's what makes me happy to do what I love to do.
Okay, great.
This is in India. We've been in like January this year. So that's a basic introduction. My workspace. So in this part we go through wildlife. I'm not specialized, and if you got any question, we can go on. But you can interrupt me anytime.
There is just one comment. It's not a question
Yep.
from David on, wow, the environments you take the camera into are very challenging. Exactly. This is what I would say about Martin, because Martin, he loves outdoor as a personality. And that's one of the reasons why actually many of his commercial shooting is actually happening outdoor, not just skiing, but many others. Okay, Martin, sorry, go ahead. I know we've got lots of beautiful pictures in front of us.
I'm able to shoot in studio, but I don't prefer personally. I got some flashlights, and I'm able to work with it outdoors, but I prefer to be in nature. It makes me relax, make me feel relaxed, and I'm really trying to find my position on the market, and I'm doing it, I guess, pretty well, because it's 20 years. I do it for 20 years. So let's go. For wildlife, I use this set of lenses. Depends if I'm carrying more lenses, or sometimes for commercial assignments, I do prefer 150 to 400, but when I'm trekking, I prefer 100 to 400. If I need to see something more wide, I prefer 8 to 25. But all purpose lens is 12 to 100 and so on. So I combine. And there is new lens in the back. We're gonna talk later.
Sorry, Martin, just if you can go back to the lenses slide. Just one small comment from my side. You see the pictures of the lenses, and then you see the focal length of the lenses below. Obviously, this is a quiz for you, right? You got it right. So obviously 12-100 is not the first lens. It is the 30mm macro. But it's a quiz for you if you can actually attach the right focal lenses to the right pictures. No, I'm just joking. Go ahead, Martin. Sorry.
So in landscapes, you need to see things that are very far away from you. And sometimes I'm skiing on a free ride, and you see Chamonix, or you are in the nature, and wildlife are insects as well. But right now I got pretty amazing Top Gun macro 90 mils, and I'm gonna show it after the section, the new shield. Okay. So the ability to see, got smaller sensor. For many people will say that it's a disadvantage, but for me, especially in wildlife, it's a huge advantage. You can see detail, and you can shock clients sometimes that you are able to see pretty far away, or pretty close-ups. Or this is in Delhi in India. I saw some nice birds, and it's just ability to capture special things in normal situations that I carry in my bag. I got 5 lenses, and one body, it was 3.3 kilo. So you can be free. That what makes me feel happy.
This is a beautiful bouquet behind the squirrel, as we have seen on the previous slide. Is this the 150 to 400?
No, it's 100 to 400.
100 to 400. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's
Beautiful.
in the
Okay.
park, city park in India.
Okay.
So I don't specialize for wildlife, but it's you now we're living in the era of smartphones, and there are very clever stuff, but there is huge area that doesn't cover pretty good, and wildlife and super tele and tele is one of it.
Absolutely.
So we go to landscapes. Uh, okay, I'm gonna show the one thing just arrived to me yesterday. It's a Pope shield. Pope shield is something like that. It's
Okay.
a diffuser for 700 mil lens, 700
Flash. 700 flash.
yeah, and
Okay.
three different
Diffusers.
diffusers.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm pretty happy to try it tomorrow.
So it's basically designed for the 90mm lens, right?
Absolutely, it's the construction of the lens is pretty good that you can use the system flash, but you need to soften it and make it bigger around the subject, and the
right.
length, the minimal length, focusing length is pretty good to cover with a proper diffuser. So and it's a Slovak producer. He's recommended on some sites because I contacted him. And so let's go to landscapes.
Can you maybe show us the brand or the box, or so that actually we know what it looks like? Because I know there are not that many. Pope shield. So it's called Pope shield, right? Okay.
He's pretty busy. And it's the price is less than half of similar stuff from Australia or so. And the result was I saw it is pretty good. And I tested some stacking function with a flash. I never did it before, and it works pretty good. And but need to have soft light, and now I got it. So
yeah, you mean the focus stacking and focus bracketing with our flashes? Yeah. Okay, great.
So let's go to landscape. Landscape is part of so many different kind of photography I do assignments. This is Slovakia. This is Switzerland. I've been in September. But let's say this one is nice example that it's it's in our capital. This is part of the city in Bratislava, and I did assignment for Wild Water Center or Water Activity Center, Vodácké centrum in my language, and you want to sell landscape, but in action in it, and some. This one is we do School of Paggrafting in Austria. You would like to bring some clients over there, but first you need to attract them. Not only details. I love to have details. In sport photography, there is not close enough, we used to say, but you want to show environment.
You are selling the adventure, actually. You are selling the adventure, so you need to actually, let's say, push the feelings to the people. How would they feel as soon as they got into the water, into the running water,
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
So you need to have the nature around. It's amazing. Yeah,
this is Pharma Park in Czech Republic with some animals around and golf. This is more about landscapes. This is one of the best golf resorts in Europe. It's top 100. It's my client over 10 years. Penati Golf Resort. You're gonna see more pictures because I shoot like 20 tournaments per year, and it can be very tough because in golf you need to shoot in any environment. It can be really snowing. It can be heavy rain. It can be 35 degrees. Only the lightning is it's crucial that they're gonna stop it. So sometimes I shoot landscapes while other people take care about nature. It's environmental kind of shots. There are 200 years old trees, and This is in Scotland. This is quite strange shot, but I'm pretty happy with it because it's from the car. Loch Mare in Scottish Highlands, and this was very amazing area in Loch Mare, and I love do paddling, and you carry until grade 2 wild water. I carry my camera on my neck. Because I'm still the boat, and I don't have to go on the island and shoot it. I shoot it from water. It's north coast of Scotland. So landscape is, let's say, this one is about to using neutral density filter built in the camera.
So the live ND, functionality.
ND, and in OM-1 there is one stop more. I think there is a 6 stop you can use by electronic ND. Because
OM-1 has actually 64. E1 Mark III had 32. Yeah, exactly.
So this I prefer to shoot handheld. When there is a nice shot. Let's say this is view from hotel. I did cover, and in the High Tatras, and I used to use the high resolution functionality. So you got handheld 15 mega shot, and from tripod 80 megapixels, and it's quite enough for everything. So this is
especially for the nature. Tell me, Martin, one thing. If you are shooting landscapes and it's just landscapes without people moving, do you often use the high-res shot mode, the 50 megapixel high-res shot, or just from time to time?
Depends. If I evaluate the my vision, my things I see that is above average and got potential for some big prints, or potential for it's a unique shot with special lighting or special occasion, special place. I use it. There is all buttons on OM-1 can be programmable, and I have one special button assigned for a high-res shot, so I use it quite often.
I see. That's good.
These are Alps in Slovenia. And this is in North Italy, Ortler Alps. Slovakia again. You know, when sometimes I work on assignment, they call me to do some resort or some brand or some fashion or so, but sometimes I do on my own, and I collect pictures, and it's not necessarily done primary for money. And then the collection, if you are focused in some area or some activity, it come out pretty good, and you can create something extra or sell it to image banks or so. This is place I slept like 2 nights ago. It's in 2,000 meter high on the mountain range, Low Tatras in Slovakia. Kamena Chata.
So basically, when I said that 2 genres are not earning you money, and I was mentioning animals and landscapes, I was kind of wrong, because it's only animals that don't earn you money. Because if the landscapes, if you are saying that you are actually taking, let's say, pictures for some hotel resorts and stuff like that, you need landscape pictures. So even landscape is earning you money, right?
Yes, and wildlife as well, because I sell some prints, and there is less and less wildlife in the world, and you need to travel to see it, and you need to know it to understand the rituals, behaviors during the day. And if you are a specialized photographer and you do workshops or you create some extra images and you work for a resort, for a safari, or but I'm really trying to find a combination of where is my heart and where is my pocket. And easy.
Sorry to bother you with questions. I'm just looking at, we've got 25 minutes behind us. And I know we've got like millions of other beautiful slides. So sorry, I won't ask many questions anymore.
Okay, let's go. This is India, Kerala, backwaters, Indian Ocean. And this is quite big enough like portion of the cake
Area.
for me.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
even.
area.
Area depends. Sometimes I do interiors, even sometimes I do exteriors. So depends. I prefer f1.2 or 1.8, or f4 is good enough for me. So I cover World Cup of skiing, Petra Vlhova team for my client. Sometimes it's a freeride world qualifier. We're gonna see some other shots later. This is about just events. Sometimes we do prints in the events, so we need to get pretty good color science to cover and to print and to make people happy. That's essential.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need to work in demanding conditions, like party of 400 people, and shoot it. This is with 8 mil fisheye.
Low light conditions, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
sometimes you work. I did launching the new BMW
Yeah.
i7. It's very challenging because the clients are high, and sometimes there is challenging opportunities like this one. And some artists, I did a lot of artists and portraits by dancers and so on. Sport events, yachting, and some cultural sport events like this in Venezia, in Italy, or music festivals like Pohoda. It's in biggest festival in Slovakia. There's a Nick Cave. Sometimes I use the in camera multi shot in camera 2 pictures together. I forgot it in English.
Yeah, I know. I have it in Czech as well. You just combine, you just stack 2 images together. I'm just trying to find the proper English word.
I forgot the English phrase, but doesn't matter.
You just overlap. You are overlapping 2 images.
Yes. Yeah. 2 or 3, and sometimes it's not perfect, but it's unique, and I love it.
Yeah, multiple exposure. Yeah, people are helping us. Thank you so much, guys.
And I did it. I did it already on the film cameras. And in Canon, there was a function that you don't rewind your film, and you shoot twice in the same 36 mil frame.
Yeah.
So company events and sport events. This was a huge event. Europe, continental Europe versus British Islands in golf. The top golfers, amateur golfers, but they're gonna be the best in the few years. This is one of even Pagraft Polo I created, and I'm the judge, and I'm covered as a photographer as well.
Okay.
And some other sports, some other events. This is Fringe event in Edinburgh in Scotland. I love it, Scotland. Okay. So the biggest air show is in Europe, in Zeltweg, Air Power. This is hydrogen car, 400,000 euro. It's made in Slovakia. New Year in Serbia, Belgrade. So events are demanding. Sometimes it happens very fast. Sometimes outdoor, indoor, and sometimes it's focused on people. Sometimes on artists, and it's very challenging. And usually you can be in very different positions. So, but you need to be lightweight. That's what I'm using, the light setup, to cameras and the lenses I need.
Well, one question, Martin, regarding the change from EM1X, EM1 Mark III to OM-1, when you speak about the ISO, because we have changed the sensor. how much was it a change for you? I mean, especially in these, let's say, creative light and indoor activities.
Depends if it's commercial work or it's a documentary work. When it's about documentary, I can really push ISO to 12,800 or even a little more.
Mhm.
Do not hesitate, use it 6,400. And
Okay.
but when you work with a uh, in environment, you can more control light, or you use the flashes or so. I prefer as low as possible, and
Mhm.
sometimes 400, 800 is enough. And but if you compare it to other cameras before I got with Olympus,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
like almost two stops better.
Okay.
And especially if it's the JPEGs are enough for you.
Hmm.
The JPEGs done by OM-1 are pretty amazing, and I shoot 95% for raw files, but
Yeah.
sometimes it happens the clients need to get very fast results,
Yeah.
so I go for JPEGs and raw, and
I
he
see.
got JPEGs very fast.
Okay.
So
Good.
let's go to creative light. It's majority of lenses are 1.2 and 1.8 series, and my new one 21.4. I allow it for traveling. It's lightweight. So this is again some multiple shots. It's client is based in Czech Republic and offers some virtual reality and some laser work, and it's in the five stores of the building. It's
Mhm.
so, and that's crazy. That basically I did something. I play with light. Sometimes I
Yeah.
combine that. If you can hold still like 2 seconds or more, then I divide it. That you first, second in the same shot. I make still shot, and then in the same shot I move it. Then you create
Okay.
something very strange.
Amazing.
And or you use flashes to make some action shots and some parties and so on. Or you do panning. It depends on the lens you got and the distance you got, but this was creative light, and it's a new BMW, and it's a gallery of modern art in Slovakia. It's Danubiana, and it's a mapping of lasers. They did it.
So they are actually doing the laser mapping or the light mapping on the car, right? Directly
Yeah.
on it.
So the
Okay.
show was like 10 minutes, and it was for really VIP clients from Austria, and
Mhm.
you cannot miss the shots. There is
Yeah.
no way. And sometimes you can see the trial or the setup, and sometimes you can't change your position. So it's sometimes conditions are very demanding.
So basically, from what you are telling us till now, is that, or I take that the real reliability of the camera is actually what's probably most important for you,
No,
right?
yeah, it's about outdoor. It's something need to be dust proof, weatherproof, so on. But sometimes when I shoot skiing, and I felt on the ice on icy conditions, pretty high mountains in Italy, and
Yeah.
I've been falling down like 50 meters on my skis. My
Uh-huh.
camera was jumping like that on the icy slope. I was problem, and there was
Yeah.
no problem at all. Nothing happened, and I was
Don't
shocked.
even tell. Don't even tell me. I don't want to
Okay,
hear.
let's go on. So sometimes I do. It's a difficult combination of lasers and fireworks,
Mhm.
because you
Beautiful.
combine two different worlds, and for client it's hard when you are creative enough, and you use the innovations in camera. You can create very unique stuff that nobody can do,
Hmm.
even with full frames and the middle sensors, uh, so on.
And I think
Let's say
all of you who are actually watching us today or tonight you all know the functionality which is called live composite. We've got this, let's say, long time exposure modes, which is bulb, lifetime, live composite. And these are exactly examples like this one, for example, with the writing Bella, Bela, which you can see there. It's a name, right? It's just a name of
It's
somebody.
a name of the river. We did some exploration and kayaking on the paragraphs, and I think it's not very long, short, maybe like 15 minutes or so, but it's unique, and we've been close to the fire, and it's something extra. It was not for money, but I like be creative.
Sure.
Again, lasers and some handheld shots with in Zurich, in Switzerland. This one is I don't know, maybe over 1 second. I think it's a 25 mm lens, so it doesn't matter. It's just creative light. It's some section very very different setups and different approaches. First seconds of the year in the Belgrade waterfront in Serbia. Pretty amazing show. This was commercial shot, but you really got like 10 minutes, and you need to travel 2,000 kilometers, and you have 10 minutes to create stuff, and they're not gonna repeat it. You need to trust it pretty good. And this is again the live composite for one of clients. They take care about roads, and they build the roads. So
Wow, nice.
Yeah. So now we go for portraits, and in portraits, I prefer that cameras are lightweight. Before I've been shooting portraits with 5D series Canon and 85mm 1.2 lens. But when I compare it to 45mm 1.2 Pro Olympus lens, it's so sharp. I need to degrade the sharpness in the post production.
Yeah, I mean, we had the same situation here. I mean, many portrait photographers, even in the past, they were kind of complaining that the 75mm, for example, 1.8 is so sharp that, especially on fashion models and so on, they really need to soften it up in the Photoshop later on, because otherwise every single portion of the face would be seen, which obviously was not good enough.
What we see in photography is that the computational stuff coming to hardware, and some AI stuff coming to software, and the creativity still standing in your head,
which is good.
To create stuff, and then you got some options in post-production and so on. So let's go to portraits. Sometimes I do even with big tele portraits, commercial stuff with golfers and so, but usually it's 45 and 75 mils. This one was for my client that is got thermal park in Slovakia, Vrbov. It's a 2,500 meters deep. The water is coming from very, very far away, and I don't know where is she coming from, but sometimes I should some people working in hotels. Sometimes I shoot golfers, winners, losers, happy men, sad men, beautiful girls, and winners. It's about ability to capture natural light and to create artificial light, but not with a heavy gear. I don't love it.
Yeah.
So these are portraits. This is a winner of the tournament, Czech golfer. This is self-portrait.
So another golfer.
Yeah.
By the way, are you a golfer yourself as well? Do you play golf too?
I play golf and I love it. I'm not very, very good in it, but it's very relaxed and very demanding sport, because it really takes out everything of you, that you need to be balanced, mind and body. You need to be focused for hours. It's very, very strange sport.
Yeah, because it looks like basically every single sport that you shoot, you also practice.
I'm not perfect in any sport, and I never did any competition in sport. I don't need it, but my soul feels happy when I'm on the move or in the nature. So that's why.
So you're the outdoor adventurer, I would call you. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you are happy, then you can make happy other people easy. Like this is my friend and my client. Then he got three daughters, and so I used to shoot for them like once a year, and some shots and so on. These are my other friends. I got a lot of friends, and they are active in different fields. Let's say this one is a rocker, and he's a fan of OM-1 as well. Big guy.
Yeah, he has one. He's actually a globetrotter, right? He's a very famous traveler in Slovakia as well.
A lot of presentations, and we've been together in India and Georgia, in former Soviet Union Republic. So this is another friend of mine doing some sweet stuff from the clouds, and so on. Just portraits. This is my daughter, sport portrait, and I used to capture emotions. So you need to be fast, and
Yeah.
I love the fact that the lenses in the OM system or micro four thirds are able to focus to very close distance. So it means you can get to very close to subject.
Mhm.
Let's say in street life, in street photography, it's essential, or so on. The commercial shot for a hotel and some portraits and so on. I love to shoot black and white as well, or sometimes I shoot black and white JPEGs and raw, color raw. And when I see just a black and white, I don't focus for colors, just for contrast and so on.
It's actually a great tip, Martin. You just said that if any one of you wants to shoot black and white photography, switch to JPEG plus RAW, so that you every single time you take a picture, you will have a color image stored as a raw data, but in the viewfinder and on the screen, you will see it in black and white. So that, as Martin just said, no color elements within the frame will actually bother you because you will not see them in color. So you will not need to recompose your image. You'll just leave it as it is because it's black and white.
A lot of people are gonna say that when you shoot raw, you can get better black and white in post-production. It's true, but when you create in the field, in action, you don't care about color. Your mind is focused on black and white, and you're gonna create it better.
Yes.
People don't care about got really perfect shots. People care about sometimes you get faster shots or get it more emotionally or in the event. Let's say in weddings, I shoot. It's very demanding genre because you should document, you shoot portraits, you should low light action with the dancing, and you cannot miss the shot. Sometimes it's very crucial, but in the evening I used to print shots because I'm pretty able to work fast on shots and then print it like 100, 150, 200 shots, and they're gonna take prints from the wedding. And it's very different if you shoot full frame. It's 45 megapixels, or you got 20 megapixels raw to work with it. You're saving time. Will bring more pleasure to your clients, and they pay you bills. So that's why.
Absolutely.
So another portrait. This is friend of mine in Scotland. Other Kubo filmmaker, my friend Paolo Barabas. So everybody is in the way that see something. Everybody living like special life, individual life, and can capture unique moments. But you need to have a equipment. Sometimes it's a low light, of course. So I picked up. I think this is 25 1.2 or This is some portrait in Scotland, bride, some special occasion, commercial shot for clients. See my son, so on, some family portraits, weddings, so on, so on. Sometimes, of course, I do artificial lighting, and maybe I 6, 7 different ways how to my subjects can be enlightened. And these are 2 LED lights with soft white light and tubes. I think it's ice light, so it's called.
Martin, sorry to interrupt you. I've got one question from Chris. I know it's very wide question. What are the best settings for family parties? Picnics and stuff like that. So I would make it a little bit more detailed. So what settings? I mean, what kind of lens would you use if you had to choose just one? And what setting would you use? Would it be full manual mode, or would it be like aperture priority or something like that? If you could help us with this.
So first, it's good to know about environment. I go to outdoor or indoor. About quantity of people. There is 5 to 10 people or 600 people. And about distances. So if I got just one lens, it depends. I used to, for commercial stuff, I do with two bodies, so I can pick up good combination. But family parties, picnics,
family party. Imagine it's just in house. In-house party. We've got like shooting in the room and so on, so stuff like that.
So in-house, it's combination of 17:1:2 and 45:1:2. Enough. Okay. And settings usually priority of aperture and can be like auto ISO, no problem.
Yeah, good.
Depends my vision. I would like to have some like more artistic view or more documentary view. Mm-hmm. Indoor, outdoor, art, documentary. So I pick up one body, 2 body, and second body, and that's it. Sometimes cool, you got option to create special light and make people feel that they are unique, because everybody is special and so on. And I do business portraits. Only 2 or 3 lights. This is 3 light setup, not very difficult one, but when you don't focus on technical stuff, you got more ability to focus on social stuff. So you can make people feel more relaxed, and usually people are very tensed. I want to look better. I work with them, and I don't have like 1 kilo in my hands. Like I have half a kilo, and I'm more relaxed after the shots. And I usually formal shots I do black or white background, and so on. This is not business shot, but
I was about to say this doesn't look like a business one, does it?
Yeah, it's in Varanasi, India, and it's a 75 mm lens. I love it for traveling and for outdoor. It's a very intimate lens because you are pretty far away from the subject, and you can create nice depth of field.
Amazing shot.
Charas is 400 lens. It was far away. And India, let's say let's street life. I'm not street photographer, but I travel a lot. I did travel 80 countries. In 2 days, I go to Greece, and let's say it was in Delhi in India, and it happened that I got only one body, but 2 lenses, 20, 1.4, and 75, 1.8, and I realized that it's the best setup I can get, because when people are close, you shoot close to you shoot 20 mil. Far away, you shoot 75 mil, and you are under the skin. You are really touching the emotion over there.
Yeah.
So, but the world is full of beauties. You don't have to travel to India to find nice portraits, but you need to be fast.
Mhm.
And you need to decode the image, the beauty in your brain. Sometimes just it's a reaction. You can give emotion, you have few seconds to catch it back. Then you got something like this,
Hmm.
and it's all around the world. So we go for sports section. We go fast through it because
Okay.
this is the best skier in the world. She proved
So,
it a
so,
few days ago.
so it must be Shifrinova, right?
Absolutely, it's Mika. But when we're talking about cameras, it's of course it's big wide. It's 150 to 400 lens,
Mhm.
and it's OM-1 with 50 frames per second with autofocus.
Mhm.
You can shoot like fixed focus to 120 frames per second to raw files, but this is with autofocus. And she's, of course, she's very fast, and this is was most difficult part of the race in Semmering. It was end of the last year,
Mhm.
giant slalom, and she did it very precisely, very sharp, and then you can get shot like this. uh, I can say that I developed my own style how to uh, shoot alpine skiing, because I skiing on the same slopes when they train,
Mhm.
and got observation of the road of the race. So I got two buddies, and I can shoot pretty close and landscape as well, but to show my client what they need.
Right.
Sometimes it's sport, sometimes it's detail, sometimes it's winning positions. My client is on that blue helmet,
Okay.
trainer, so communication of the team. This is the best Czech skier, alpine skiing, Martina Dubowska. But skiing is not only race. Sometimes it's about touring as well. Sometimes you got company that renting equipment or producing equipment, or you are guides.
Mhm.
You would like to have some professional shots. So I'm really, this one guy is owner of the rental company,
I
and
see.
back one is my son and my dog. So but when I say skiing, it's not only about race. It's about like, this is very challenging situation. It's
Mhm.
uh, this one is from freeride. Freeride I used to shoot every year, freeride world qualifier. But you need to be prepared for conditions to work in dangerous areas. So this is camp. That's me. So you need to practice skills in avalanches and so on.
Mhm. There's one question, Martin. Sorry, from David. Are you actually skiing while you take the shots? I mean, David, you don't probably mean that Martin would be like moving during taking the shots, but you mean like you are skiing, then you stop, you take the shot, then you ski again, and you take another shot, and so on, right?
Well, let's say I got assignment to shoot like two skier, and they are in the same time on the slope checking the gates, and I have 12 to 100. I got 150 to 400,
Okay.
and I got ability, technical ability to move on skis and move where I want. Because sometimes as a photographer, I pick up subject, but I pick up background as well. Like
Yeah.
if
Right.
I can change position on icy slope, it's pretty steep and it's icy, and you
Mhm.
got two cameras.
Mhm.
So I'm moving, then I stay and I shoot.
Okay.
I can visualize that it's about 50 meters. I'm shooting with a telelens and so on.
Mhm.
Sometimes when I got a shot like this, it's free ride, pretty bad weather conditions, but uh, I communicate with clients or with the friends that this is position, this is turn. Sometimes we got radios and so on.
Mhm.
Sometimes you got bluebird, you got perfect conditions and perfect skier, so it's more easy. This one is the position I used to shoot free ride. It's one of top 3 events in Europe. Jasna Adrenaline in the free ride world qualifier, and you need to be good skier to take two good positions in the hill and be there half a day and shoot 1,000 shots. And but it's the best place to be, and you got the best shot possible. There is no other way. But you need to get telelens, zoom lens, and be fast autofocus, and so on. Then you can
Anyway,
get shot.
Martin, there's a wonderful question from where was it? From P Noon. I don't know the real name. What is it apart from its lightness that makes you recommend this camera? I mean, we are speaking about OM-1, right? So obviously, we have been speaking about reliability that we mentioned that you definitely love about the camera. Now we have been talking about a 50 frames per second refocusing when you are taking, for example, shooting skiing. Now it's the lightness you mentioned many times. What else would you recommend about the camera?
Now, for me, it's ability to combining photo and video, because I can really shoot from wide to tele very stable video, and I don't need to switch lenses or use gimbals or tripods. I do it handheld. I'm fast.
Yeah.
And what other
So it's basically the amazing IS system, right? The stabilization system, which is great for photo and for video.
Let's say tracking of subject or tracking the trains or motorcycle, whatever. So the autofocus ability, and so for me, it's a gear I can trust, and it's combination.
Well, basically, we have mentioned just about everything that anybody can wish to have on its camera, So yeah, I mean,
basically, there is no need to shoot it faster. There is always way how to improve some innovations. I'm gonna be happy when they will introduce some special things. But I have a camera which can shoot 50 or 80 megapixels and 120 frames per second and 8.5 EV of stabilization, and I can shoot from fisheye to now I got teleconverter and 150 to 400 mils, so what means it's 800 and inbuilt stabilization. So finally, I can shoot 2,000 millimeters telephoto images.
Handheld.
Handheld, yeah, but better now. 2,000 is 2,000, so you can see stuff that nobody other can see. What you gonna see if you can see that no other can see? What you gonna wildlife or paparazzi, or I don't know. It's up to you.
So sorry to switch to another subject, but I've got yet another great question which is related to this winter sports. Do you have problems using the small buttons in these very cold conditions? Meaning, how do you use it? With gloves, without gloves? I mean, how do you do?
Usually, I have different kinds of gloves, and depends. I make it simple. I have like few buttons that I focus on, and they are a little smaller. Okay, maybe it's gonna be better that make it a little bigger. But I don't have problem with it. I'm just
which we can see on your images anyhow.
Basically, like shooting 800 mils, everybody in World Cup they're using tripods or monopods. No tripod, monopods. It's smart way. If you have like heavy lens, it's saving energy in golf, but you're gonna see it later. We're gonna talk about the golf later. And you shoot 20, 50 frames per second, you can capture sequences. And this is friend of mine. this is Tomahawk. He was rotating and so on. My son. And another way that if you got light system, you can be in any adventure. It doesn't disturb you when you need to walk away and should pick up it. And I'm skiing with a camera on body.
Mhm.
I can ski up to 100 kilometers per hour on the pretty good slope, not in these conditions, but and I trust camera that I can go very speedy with a camera strap on my body.
Yeah, I should put a sign now on the slide, or actually to your words. Don't try this at home. So please do not ski 100 kilometers per hour with your cameras on your shoulders.
I checked
Much you
this
can, but we shouldn't.
this weekend. I did check it was a 98, but not with a camera in my bag.
Yeah,
I almost always keep my camera on my bag, rucksack. So and now this is section that what does it mean? 50 frames per second. This is Sarah Hector, a Swedish skier. So you definitely don't need 50 frames per second, but if you have ability to pick up one from the best one, so you're gonna do it. If you sell for client that pays you or pay you, it's Bauhaus or Svenska Spel or doesn't matter, they would like to pick up the best one, or you're gonna pick up for them. And moments, always, if you got the option to pick up the subject and background. Everybody knows in the world of skiing that she's the best skier, but it's written over there. She's on the first place, so good to got the background or side. But this is again 800 mils, and with 800 mils, you see pretty enough. Or you should start. Sometimes client want to see the start. So okay, you got it. This is in Czech Republic on January of this year. Again, this is award-winning ceremony after the race and photographers. But when you have heavy gear, you are not able to move a lot. I mean, don't move a lot. You got maybe the perfect shot, but very few. And, you need to set up your strategy, what you love to do and why you want to be some unique stuff, or you want to be successful on the market, you need to create something else.
Basically, I would have to say again to this question from one of you, because you have asked what else would it be as the reason why you have chosen this setup. Basically, from the very beginning, when you have switched in 2016, I think, to our system, we have been discussing together, and one of the main reasons was and still is the lightweight and the size. And basically, because you are actually outdoor, you are out there with the people, with your clients, with your customers, with the sports people, and you are out there and you need to carry the equipment to these, let's say, adventurous conditions, so you are actually one of them. But you don't only have to carry the skis as they do, you also have to carry the photographic equipment. So basically it is still one of the great reasons to have the camera which is lighter and which is smaller, basically. So yeah, I would still say that this is one of the reasons, basically, why many people actually choose Micro Four Thirds.
Let's say White Water is nice. This is commercial shot for a client, Rob Finn, producer of the boats, and it's pretty difficult to shoot in wild water because it's dangerous. And you should some GoPro or smartphone, and that's enough. And big guys, they do like this. But when you got some reasonable, big enough equipment, and then you can create miracles.
Yeah.
And I shoot from some school of kayaking and some wild water rivers. And this is image not from OM-1. This is from my action camera. But the my OM-1 is in front of me, so you see the environment that the camera I trust. Only one problem happened like a few years ago in when the salt water, and it's a long time in the salt water. It's problem, but water is not a big deal.
But I remember the case. It was actually sitting in the
Yeah,
water, so it was submerged under the water for some time, which was kind of an accident. And
right.
obviously, the camera is obviously splash proof, but it's not waterproof like a
Yeah,
water case or water housing or underwater housing. So yeah, if it sits in the water, then it's wrong, right? But if it's just splashing
salt water.
water, I mean, it withstands just about everything.
Salt water is very very dangerous for the electronic stuff inside. So some wild water sections and some. This is Slovenia. This is Slovakia. Again, I love to be in nature and show people some miracles.
Hmm.
And really, when camera is dirty from the mud or from what, then you really it's able to put it under the water and under the tap and clean it easy.
Sorry,
Sometimes,
Martin, I just need to interrupt you. Again, don't try this at home. Like, do not
yeah,
submerge it under the water. You can spray it with the water, like shower it. It's okay, right?
yeah,
But please do not submerge the cameras under the water unless it is in the water housing case.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes I use
I know you are doing it. I know you are doing it and it works. It's fine. But I mean, officially, we shouldn't.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes I use underwater case with a big
Dome port. Dome
house
port.
dome port, yeah,
Yeah.
for special shots. So this is wild water, very demanding conditions, and when you feel the water, you can pick up the right spots, communicate with guides or with the people, friends, and they're gonna love it because with smartphones there is no way. You
Hmm.
need to have attitude and need to have equipment. Easy. These are my kids jumping into 12 degrees cold water. This is Olympic winner from Ukraine. She escaped from Ukraine, living in Bratislava now, our
Hmm.
capital, and so on. This is my son riding waves, fourth grade. It's a quite difficult place, and so on. So these are just images from water section, different kinds, and this is from Scotland. We've been in August last year.
Amazing shots.
Some sequences, Caledonian forest, pretty wild and changing conditions, very wet,
Hmm.
and a lot of midges, small
Yeah,
flies.
insects. Small insects, small
Yeah.
flies. Yeah.
Uh, this is why I love this boat, Typagraph, because it's 6 kilo. It's similar way when you compare to cameras, because it's lightweight and you can move with it.
Hmm.
So and so on. And I did some assignments with yachting, some regattas. So again, you are able to shoot stills and video in two bodies, and you can get pretty close to faces, to details, to
Hmm.
clients. I'm not gonna show in this presentation a lot of pictures that are pretty close to clients or so, and but you can imagine with 1,000 mils, you can see pretty a lot.
Sure.
And, this is one of my favorite activities, golf, and I shoot for National Association for best resorts in my country or in Czech Republic, Austria, and so.
I
And
have
I'm
to
gonna,
say, I personally never played golf. I mean, I
yeah,
tried once, right? So I don't count it. But what I love about these resorts is just the nature. I mean, how beautiful most of the time it is in the golf resorts. It's so calm, so wonderful. I mean, all the trees, everything is cool.
yes, all the trees are so beautiful, and but it's about your ability to see beauty and to
Mm.
capture the beauty.
Yeah.
But imagine when you are in the golf resort, but design are very different, and sometimes you are in a position that you see 3 or 4 different suitable places for taking pictures. While you shoot on monopod, you got technically good shots. Okay, f2.8, 400 mils full frame. Okay, it's nice, no doubt. But me, I shoot in the same time landscape because it's nice shadows and so on. I shoot details. I shoot beauty of golfers. I shoot brand of the watch or whatever. And then they see it. I present it later in the evening on the screen, or I print it, or I shoot. I see much more because I see further and I can capture more different angles.
You're more flexible, I would say. Basically,
Absolutely.
you're very flexible.
Very flexible. And then when you shoot your way, people can compare because you are not only one guy in the world that can shoot golf. People can compare pretty good, and there are very skilled photographers on the market. And when you present unique way, your way, that then it's a matter of market you are on. When you are shooting US, there is maybe 4,000 golf resorts, or you shoot in Slovakia, where is 25 golf resorts. That's a different story,
Absolutely.
So there are a lot of stories behind these shots. This is in Slovakia, in Penalty Golf Resort, premium golf resort in Middle Europe. Big events, and sometimes you want to show environment, technical skills, sometimes brand, and sometimes winning moments, and so on. But you need to shoot in heavy rain as well. Nobody cares.
Okay.
And you can do more creative than I did now, but you can lower angle and flip your display, and you got something different. Or I shoot some academies, some kids. This is Slovakia master under 12 years in ladies. She gonna be perfect skier, and I did this set of photographs for her parents, and absolutely these pictures gonna help her to sell her game, or for brands and for partners and so on.
Sorry, Martin, can you go back one slide?
Yeah.
Is this from Harry Potter?
Yes, it's in Harry Potter, and she's 12 years, about maybe 11, and it's nice to create some funny stuff. But when you work with heavyweight equipment, and you work like 2 or 5, 6 hours, after 6 hours you're not gonna play a lot. You wanna go home.
Yeah.
When you got lightweight equipment and a creative mind, you still can go on. You can play. You can smile. You can attract more smiles.
I think there is one recommendation when every one of you can actually try it. I mean, personally, I was, for example, shooting my my cousin's wedding once, because she asked me to, and basically it was like all day shooting. So basically, I had 2 cameras again, as you did. I mean, I was holding basically the camera whole day from early in the morning till late in the evening, and it was still okay. But can you imagine, holding the equipment, which would be 2 times heavier? I mean, it's simply not that easy as it looks like. So yeah, please try and use the equipment fully, like from early in the morning to late in the evening. I mean, the full frame, if you have a chance to borrow from some of your friends, and try to use it for the whole day. It's really tough.
And that's like professional golf tournaments. It's a 4 days. In 4 days, it's a really, like, one game is 4 hours, but all day is maybe 10 hours.
Yeah.
And then you work on pictures. So it's pretty hard. It's pretty tough.
Yeah.
And at the end of the tournament, you have to shoot some official shots, and you need to be focused on what you do, and maybe create some more fun. And clients, they they appreciate it, to be creative. There are two presidents: the president of Slovak Association, professional golfers and amateur golfers. So important guys. Let's say from this year, I'm a partner of the Slovak Golf Association in National Golf League. They realize that I can shoot pretty different than some other guys, and these are amateur golfers, and it's a new challenge. Like world is changing. This is new league, new competition, and I said I'm would like to help you. Of course, it's for money, but this is one of my clients. You know the brand.
German brand, yes.
German brand. And the travel section, we are coming to the end. There are two more sections. And this is travel. Travel is a pretty wide section. I focus on outdoor sports, adventure, travel, and you can see my stuff on Photo Martini on Instagram and photomartin.com, but it's going to be changed. The web is not good enough, but Instagram is still alive, and Facebook as well, Photo Martini.
Okay.
So there are some questions, or?
Well, there are some questions, but I will probably go through them maybe at the very end. We have answered some, but there are some others. But let's go through the travel genre now, because I think travel is actually, to my understanding, travel is one of the genres where our system absolutely fits to, because it's small, tiny, and you don't want to travel with heavy equipment if you go around. So you either shoot smartphone or you shoot with a, let's say, high-end camera, but the high-end camera should not turn you down in the way that it actually is too heavy for you. Obviously, all the cameras have brilliant features, whether it's full frame or let's say smaller sensor size. But smaller sensor size can be smaller and lighter. And this
let's say this is south of Moravia. It was a trip with my kids. It was not a commercial deal, but this is with 8mm f4. Like some guys gonna say that, f4 on a small sensor in the indoor with no flash. No way. Why? But you got the ability to shoot 2 seconds on the lowest ISO, sharp image, or shoot 50mm, 50 megapixel with little improved dynamic range. So, and you got it. You need no tripod. Sometimes there is no option to shoot with a tripod inside some historical buildings, but you don't need it. Or in the caves. So this is some panning shots in Scotland, and that's me observing the area.
Good.
And this is what I love the most, but I don't do it very, very often, to travel lightweight and do real adventure. But I'm improving. I'm trying to focus on this area. And we do trips to Scotland. There is a friend of mine, Wild 360. You can check it on Instagram or Facebook. He's pretty good guide and doing with boats and doing on bikes. Scotland is really paradise for any kind of adventure sport.
Okay.
And let's say you shoot 825, but you got the ability to shoot pretty close and pretty wide. This is so tiny. This is maybe 2 centimeters plant.
So this is this was 825 shot, the plant?
Yes, pretty close.
It's wonderful.
And we are in the era of smartphones, and they are very, very smart. They capture low light and capture computational stuff, but the creative is not in the camera, it's in you. And let's say if you got lightweight system and it's gonna be dark, you pick up the some bright lens and you create something like panning or this is Edinburgh, Waverley. It was very clean, very beautiful city, Edinburgh. But I was lucky enough to catch this mess because there was strike of the, I don't know the name.
Yeah, the people that are collecting the dust trash. I
Yes,
don't
yes, yes.
exactly know the name either.
In 3 days it disappeared, but I got the shot, and you are lucky. Then there's some event. This is Salzburg. Let's say this one is with new lens. I got 40 to 150 f4. I got 2.8 and I got 4. For traveling, I pick up 4.
Do you actually keep both of them, or did you sell?
Yeah.
Did you sell your 2.8?
No.
You keep them
I got
both.
both
Yeah.
of them. 2.8 is more for more demanding shots, more like commercial stuff, and f4 is more for traveling. I used to take it on the water as well, water activities.
Yeah.
This is my son trip on the railway trip through the Europe to Switzerland and to Italy.
Amazing.
Zurich and Milano. This is Duomo, one of the most beautiful building. Usually shot from the front side, but this is unique angle. And I really recommend you go to Museum of Technique and Science in Milano, named by Da Vinci. So, and then you are going to San Siro, 80,000 visitors. Inter Milano, our player from Slovakia, Milan Skriniar, is the captain over there. And so you got wide shot, then you got close-up shots. And in the security doesn't stop you because you are not able to carry, you need accreditation for a big lens. But when your big lens is not big, you just see further, so you are.
And this was, sorry, Martin, if you can go back to the soccer play, this was with the, 75 to 300, or which lens did you use?
This is, no, this is 40 to 150. This is
40 150.
150, yeah. So it's 300, but it's I think it's a little cropped.
Good.
This is looks like Venezia, but it's in Milano still. And so traveling, you need to be lightweight to enjoy it. And north face of Eiger, monster mountain, 1,800 meters high. Belehrad, Beograd, capital of Serbia. So again, it's easy. I don't think about it, but it's getting dark, and you got option to shoot handheld live composite. So you're gonna do it.
By the way, what was your longest exposure which you were able to hold handheld? How many seconds did you achieve? Like 2, 3, 5 seconds?
It's not the same amount, but it depends how you breathe, depends how you are in stable mind. But it's usually I shoot 1, 2, 4 seconds, but I did 15 seconds handheld stable shot wide.
15
seconds, yeah.
Really? Oh gosh.
It's possible, but just it's unbelievable. But I use the help in the viewfinder.
Yeah,
there is a mark that you need to keep it inside, and so India.
The IS assistant, yeah, it's called, I think.
Yes, assistant. Again, so I love the shooting with tele lenses, and this one for traveling I use 100 to 400, and with the common situations or combination of smartphones and telelens, 75 or 40 to 150 or 100 to 400, you see miracles because the reality you capture is pretty small, and you got more options. Varanasi, holy city, burning bodies, Hindus, and tea plantations and Hindu. You really see miracles when you shoot tele, and you don't have to shoot it with the tripods. Sometimes you see beauties everywhere.
The truth is that I have heard many times that actually even landscapers are using telelenses,
Yeah,
which, in my mind, it would never appear. I mean, for if you say landscape, I always think, okay, so it's wide angle lenses most of the time, or basic lenses. But actually, it is absolutely true that within this wide actually nature that you see in front of you, you want to take a picture of just a portion of it. So that's why you would need to use telelenses. And the pictures are actually very amazing, which I see from professional photographers, ambassadors, and others.
you need to find yourself what you love to do and do it as best as possible. That's why 20 years ago I decided to be photographer. And but you need to find what you really love. And let's say, as you said before, you shoot landscape with a telephoto, and you combine it for unique vision with a high res shot, so you can create amazing stuff. Or now I got the best telelens, 150 to 400. Now I got the best macro lens, 900 mil. And there are three worlds. Is wide world that everyone can see, but there are two worlds that no one can see. It's far away, like eagle can see, tele, and there is close-ups. So your eye cannot focus 20 centimeters and less. But with now I got the option with a macro lens and 2 times extender to see 8 times more than its reality. Like I can't say in English, but 8 times bigger stuff. And
yeah, enlargement,
enlargement is the word.
Yeah.
If you compare to 35 mil world, like full frame, so you see miracles, and you can use the focus stacking, and you can use or high res shot, and you can use flashes that you really can shoot 15 times pretty fast with some softeners like the Pope Shield. And so you can observe your world very different way, and that make you rich. I feel very rich that my world is full. You can see by pictures.
Yeah, I have to totally agree with you, Martin, in one thing, and that is that once the 90mm lens actually came to the market, and I did some kind of test shooting, here in the Czech forests, I spent like maybe 5 to 6 hours down there, sitting, on the ground, shooting all kinds of things, which normally I just pass by. I never noticed them. But with the 90mm lens, obviously, I started to notice things which I would never even think were existing, or I knew about them, but I've never seen them with my own eyes. Well, I didn't even see them with my own eyes now. I had to use the 90mm macro lens to see them properly. But I mean, really, as you say, it's like a whole new world for us, So, and especially the 90mm that we are talking about is an amazing, and I would say even totally unique lens, because there is nothing like equivalent of 180mm with image stabilization, with the possibility of combining with converters, and plus put on the mirrorless camera, for example, like OM-1 or OM-5 or others, where you could actually do the focus stacking and focus bracketing. So you don't need any of those, micro adjustments, tripods where you would take a shot, readjust the distance, take another shot, and so on. You just press the trigger, it just goes 50 frames or whatever per second, and you have the shot. So it's amazing.
I need to talk about it a little, because I got very special lens, MPE 65 mils. It's 1 to 5 magnifying on Canon, and I know how is the world. I know it before, but there is no focus. You need to be just on a few millimeters to put the right direct, then you need to work on rails. You need
Yes,
to
yes.
use the ring. Of course, you need to the ring light, and
Yeah,
there is no stabilization, and there is you have no option to shoot tele.
yeah.
Let's say it's only for close distance, very close distance. You got unique shots, okay, but there is no ability to shoot autofocus. But
Hmm.
sometimes you have, let's say I shoot like 90 mils. You have two extender, so it's a 180, it's a 360 in a full frame world, and there is something far away appear. That I just pick it up and I shoot it. You need to just sometimes change the settings. But so now
Yeah.
we go for tech. Tech is
Tech
the last
pictures.
the last section. It's a special selection. Sometimes we saw some kind of pictures. I used to combine. So it's a one shot. It's a still, but half is still and half is moving. And
Okay. Okay.
you can do whatever. It can be printed big, and if you are dealer of the brand and you are in artistic uh, mode
Mood. Yeah.
mood, so you can attract. Wow, what is it?
Yeah. It's
And you
amazing
can say
shot.
it's bullshit. It's up to you. So uh, tech is about cars and motorcycles, and like the panning shot is trying to catch the right timing, the right shutter speed, and then you can do something unique.
Hmm.
It's in Scotland. It was 3,000 motorbikes,
Actually, this kind
and
of panning shots, this is something that people need to train, because
yeah,
it's not like you would just take a camera, set certain speed, and think, okay, I'll just do the panning, and the first shot will be the most brilliant one, the most
uh,
sharp one. No, I mean, you just really need to practice. And obviously, it depends also on the speed of how fast the subject is moving, So depending on that, you need to set up the shutter speed on the camera, and so on and so on. So it's not as easy as it looks on the pictures of someone who already knows how to do it. But don't worry about it. I mean, you are not paying film, because it's all digital today. So you can just test and try.
yeah, and at the end, it's not about to get the perfect shot. At the end, it's about to uh, train your brain and be creative,
Yeah.
and or feel happy, or make other people feel happy. And if you are able to earn some money with it, do it, easy. But your brain is important.
Sure.
Then like this is show when I used to take my son, and these shots from the air show are done for him, and he's pretty happy with it. And I don't earn any money, I spend money to shoot it. But uh, these are some historical machines. Some this is pretty big about shooting, because shooting some flying objects, you need to really have a quite good autofocus, and
Hmm.
see very further, very far away.
Yeah.
And people spend a lot of money to buy some lenses, because these lenses are expensive. Even it's not always professional, but
And the truth is that OM-1 also has the plane tracking mode, right? So it
yeah,
tracks the planes and the helicopters automatically.
yeah. Uh, so, but if you are really focused in the field, you can do it. You can go for like 20 shows in the Europe. You can do contracts. You can shoot for customers, and if you like to do it for money, you need to find your way and your segment.
Right.
But first of all, this is Frecce Tricolori. It's a very famous Italian group.
Hmm.
This is my son. You see, he's happy, and that's a key. A hydrogen car, sport car from Slovakia. This is a hydrogen bus, and it's the future of transport. And Tesla, friend of mine, he's owner of the brand Drive Tesla SK, renting the cars. And
Basically,
speed
the
trains.
sentence you just said few seconds ago, that the customer needs to be happy, is absolutely true. I mean, you need to do shots which the customer or the client will be happy with. And if it's the company that's paying you, or if it's your son who is smiling, it's just about the same, basically.
Yeah,
He's your client at the moment. At the air show, he
yeah,
was your client. So you are taking pictures for him, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
We've been in like few hours in the car. Then let's say in this show there are 3,000 visitors per 2 days,
Hmm.
and this is biggest air show in Europe. There is maybe some bigger in the UK and some in the US, but this is in Austria in Zeldweg. Red Bull Ring is pretty close, and so it's amazing show. And but I really I do it for money like 20 years, and I really understood that it's pretty nice when someone paying you what your hobby. It's
Yeah.
it's great, but the essential is to make people happy and make you satisfied. I always pushing myself to create something unique.
Hmm.
Then I really uh, like the innovations they are inside the cameras, and they make my visions more. Like, I'm able to see more wide and more wide, more detail, more tele, and the combination of unique sites make my work unique and my visions unique. So that then I can work less to get the same money and so on.
Yeah, that's why the companies and your clients are actually choosing you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and I think this is the end of presentation. And
Okay.
I need to explain this one. You
Yeah,
know
what
what's
is
that?
it? There's a plane, and there are three. Oh, these are the. I know. These are the guys in the wingsuits, right?
Absolutely. They jumped out of the plane. These
Yeah.
are Red Bull. Red Bull, you know Red Bull, and this is the group. And it's nice to get a shot of three flying guys in the wingsuits and the airplane, and that's why I pick up before the end presentation. So
Okay.
that's it, and I think we cover really a lot, and there's only one here, and there are some more shots coming in than some actions.
We covered many genres, Martin. Thanks a lot for all this. But let me just come back or go back to a couple of questions which we had here. If I take it from the last ones, what speed would you use for football game? Let's imagine that you are not sitting on the back seats as you were in this Italian stadium. Imagine that you are a, let's say, football professional photographer. So you are just next to the field, So what kind of speed would you use for them running, for example?
Depends. Depends, because you need to realize first way that you won't have the real shot or creative shot. If and the position you are, because football is sport, they move, and if you're sitting in the corner or you sitting behind the gate, and you're sitting in the middle of field. So you saw the World Soccer
Yeah,
in this.
soccer, football, soccer. Yeah.
You saw how many photographers they've been all around in the final games, all
Yeah.
around,
Yeah.
sitting behind the banners,
Yeah.
advertising, and so it depends, because sometimes you would like to have some blurry shots like behind. Sometimes if you want to freeze the action, you need to go for a shutter speed priority. Maybe that's the question, and you need
And
to
that's the question. Yeah, exactly. That's the question. What speed would you use? I think we are speaking about, let's say, frozen shots, so that you can see
yeah,
the football
close the
players
shot.
quite clearly.
Like can be 1,000, like 1,000 of second, 2,000 of second, and
Mm.
again the it's about you need to go high ISO and need to go with wide open aperture. But when the shots are crucial, like very important, there can be a little noise. But in the post production these days, it's so easy to get noise out of the shot, and it's fast, and you can do it in a batch. So you can do like 100 top shots. There are no noise reduction at all. So depends what kind of shot you shoot. The speed, you set up the right speed. Usually sports are about shutter speed priority.
So let's say 1,000 of a second should be just about optimal for.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it, and if it's okay, yeah.
Okay, let's see. Thanks for sharing your wonderful experience with the OM-1. You have captured many great moments, and it looks like it was a lot of fun. But that was not the question I wanted to put. Oh, here it is. Sorry. Again, you are in a raft, or I mean on the water with your subject when you take the photos of the pack rafts, or do you stand on the bench on the river side?
Depends on the how is the river, because sometimes there is it's possibility to get out of the boat. I do it when there is some hard section, some waves, and there is a calm section. I stay on the boat. Depends.
Okay. Well, let's do 2 or 3 other questions, because there are more, but we are kind of we have already run out of time. What is it? Okay, what autofocus settings do you use for photographic skiing? So when you do skiing, what kind of settings do you have?
Yeah, depends. I shoot slalom and giant slalom, and giant slalom is more faster, and I tried different settings, and there is no description like how you should do it. So I tried different ways, and sometimes I use subject tracking. Sometimes I use manual focus. I did shots that you focus for gate, and you shoot like on EM-1X. I did. There is a 60 frames per second with no autofocus.
Yeah,
I tried. I put manual focus, gate, and you need one perfect shot, and you got it.
Okay.
Sometimes you focus subject, but most of all I use not single focus, but
continuous shooting.
Continuous autofocus for a little wider area to capture.
Which actually answers this question, which is just about the same. What settings do you use to shoot skiing? CAF plus tracking, or just CAF?
Both. There is. If it works, about pro capture, yes, I do pro capture, of course. Sometimes when you shoot skiing, you would like to have a little dark background with a like overhang. I don't know in English, hang. Like,
yeah. I would say it's overhang.
Yeah, but when they ski fast, you have no option to see subject track, because you don't see skier. So you need to shoot pro capture, and pro capture you can shoot 1 or 2 seconds in the past, and it works perfect.
So basically, as soon as they appear basically on the let's say corner of the ski slope, you have the let's say the trigger half pressed all the time, and as soon as they appear, you press the trigger fully, right? So that you have all the images when they are appearing behind the corner.
So I'm not the one who's shooting in studio in perfect environment. Sometimes I shoot skiing in the daylight. Sometimes it's a night round, and it's very different. The amount of light is 1/5 or less. There is artificial lighting, and you need to make decisions right. And when you shoot like regular photographer for a agency, you need to do like top 30 skier. But I'm focused on 1 or 2 skiers. You cannot miss the shot.
Right.
So you need to believe in. So I combine stuff, and from single shot for manual focus, single focus, really sometimes manual focus, but usually continuous and tracking. So.
Okay, let's see. Last question, last but not least. Well, first of all, Arndt is telling you that there's lots of great pictures. Thank you. And not only the system is flexible, the photographer is too. And I got the confirmation that the system has more possibilities that I ever will use. This, I think, we can all agree about. But the thing is, Arndt, that basically it very much depends on the genre. We are very grateful that OM-1 has all the possibilities, all the capabilities, and every single one of you, depending whether you are shooting macro, landscape, birding, whatever genre you are shooting, you can pick your, let's say, setup, and the camera will have it. So that's one of the great advantages of the camera. But then, Martin, this is for you. Arndt is also saying, and as the picture quality is sufficient for professional use, what should I carry full frame for hobby use? Or maybe should it be why should I carry full frame for hobby use? Why should somebody carry full frame for hobby use?
Yeah, there is always some advantage on any side. Full frame is a great system. It was built up for like back in time, SLR. Like it was ability to change lenses on a suitable body, and you can shoot different stuff with it for different lenses. Then digital world come, like, and OM1 old one came, and smaller film, and it was more fun. It was for fashion. It was for street. And now the all cameras or brands developing the sensors, developing the bodies, and it's great to use full frame. It's lovely when you need it. Means when you are in very low light situations, there is advantage. When you shoot in a studio, or when you shoot in with demanding really high resolution in moving, let's say in some for advertising, when you need to shoot some action or so. But and full frame, there are some brands doesn't got this image stabilization in body, only in lenses, and that's disadvantage. But they're improving it. So why you should carry full frame for hobby use? I know photographers, they own one lens and they are pretty good with it. If you have 50mm lens, okay. I know photographer with the OM, he's using only 75mm, nothing else. And it's standing out because it's unique lens. It's pretty small, and I know it's his work. It's his sign. 75, nobody do it. And okay, he's not professional, but he can do it. Yeah. It's unique. Find your way, and if you shoot like low light concerts, like cultural event or nights in clubs, or okay, low light is maybe a little better, but for 90% of my work, I see there is no need.
Yeah, I would even say that with artificial intelligence put on the ISO reduction today, if you take all sorts of software which is there on the market already existing, which is, let's say, diminishing noise from the pictures, basically today it does not really matter. You can even shoot 12,800, as you mentioned, even more, and you take this picture, you go through these softwares, all kinds of brands, and the noise is gone, but the sharpness stays, the color stays, the image is simply wonderful, almost as if it was shot with ISO 400 or something like that. So
I tell you something. A friend of mine, he just bought Hasselblad 100 megapixel camera, the newest model, and we've been testing it together. Like it's pretty huge sensor. It's like 6 times bigger than Micro Four Thirds. But first of all, you need to improve yourself, learn. If you're watching the presentation, you did a step, and you can do next step tomorrow. And I know my equipment. I got pro lenses, and we tested. And we tested for details, for dynamic range, and some other stuff. And I realized that there are some ways that if you are demanding for high details, for big prints, there is imstemization in Hasselblad. So okay, but in 80% of shots, I realize I don't need this one because of there is no big difference. If you do products and you really clients pushing you for high resolution, but you need to always put your ideas, your ability to learn for like how to work with autofocus. Like let's say Czech photographer Peter Babosek, he creating so unique, perfect stuff in some field, in some macro or wildlife, and teaching other people on workshops. Perfect. And there are so many ways these days how you can learn, and you don't have to carry heavy stuff.
Absolutely. So basically, Arndt, answer to your question: why should I carry a full frame for hobby use? I don't see an answer. There's no reason. It reminds me, actually, the answer would remind me one booklet which I received from my friend. It was just a paper booklet, and on the cover it says 1,000 reasons why a photographer should own a full frame camera. I opened it and there was 100 empty pages. So no reason, really. Okay, guys, let's stop joking. I think we have already achieved our time, Martin. I'm sorry. We have to end this session. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Obviously, if you didn't catch up us from the very beginning, this video will stay on YouTube, so you can watch Martin's wonderful images. Let's say all genre images. Which we have seen today anytime. So go to our OM System YouTube page. You will find not only today's presentation, but there is already, I would say, hundreds of other presentations from us, from my colleagues, from many ambassadors. So, and it's also, I would say, it's also a place where you can learn not only from ambassadors, but also from our tech experts like David Smith from UK and others, obviously, some technical stuff about our cameras. You all know David's Tech Thursdays, so yeah, I mean, go there, go to OM System YouTube page, and you will find many stuff to watch, to learn, and see there. Okay, so thank you so much, Martin. Thank you, especially thank you so much. I know you have spent quite a lot of time presenting or preparing this presentation, all these images. So thank you from me, thank you from David, thank you from David Delgado and others who are writing the comments right now. And as in Czech and Slovakia, we've got this saying which photographers say to each other, and that is, have a good light. So I all wish you have a good light.
Thank you. So I pretty believe that people been able to learn something and engage and so on. So I wish you be creative. I wish you be happy with what you do and work hard and play hard. Ciao.
Thanks, Martin. Thank you all. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
See you
Bye-bye.
sometime.